Hey folks, I'm going to do my 2019 deer season wrap up for y'all. You've seen Chris's video, and obviously he put a lot of work in this year, and he had some success this year, and it was a good year for both of us. For me, as you guys know, if you've been following along, you know, I wasn't able to get out as much as I would like. But I had some opportunities. You know, I went up Veterans Day weekend to Chris's place and hunted, and was able to shoot that real nice 8-point, and then went back up Thanksgiving, weekend, all long weekend, and I was able to shoot that 9-point day before Thanksgiving, and then of course we went out to Kansas for our week-long hunt out there, and we had some opportunities there. We didn't put any meat in the cooler to bring back and put in our freezers, but I feel it was a successful hunt. So at any rate, I spent a lot of time gone last year and wasn't able to really get out and do the things that I would have liked to have done in the woods and do some hunting. But Chris put a lot of work in, and Chris worked his butt off this year. Out there scouting. He was out in the spring, he was out in the summer, put a lot of time in the summer with the scouting, and then as well as once he kind of picked the core area that we ended up hunting, he put up a ladder stand and put some work in there with the horizontal post, with the hitching post set up, and some minerals that he worked into the ground, and some other things. So had a lot of success with seeing a lot of deer on camera during the early season. A lot of stuff kind of disappeared once the hunting season came in, but there were still deer out moving around, and he saw some deer. Wasn't able to get a whole lot of shots off. He had on opening day the doe that he missed, and then the doe that he shot on the beginning of rifle season. And then some other deer that came around that he wasn't able to get a shot on. And then of course, that spike that kept popping up that couldn't shoot due to the regulations. But the amount of work that he put in was phenomenal, and I think I know he learned a lot. I learned a lot just watching all the videos that I was editing for him, and seeing the things that he was doing, and then just the two of us talking back and forth on the phone a lot, talking about different strategies, talking about what he was seeing out there and things that I noticed on the videos. It was definitely an educational experience for the two of us. And then for myself, getting up there Veterans Day weekend and Thanksgiving weekend, and being able to put those two deer in the freezer, that was a phenomenal experience for me, having that kind of success with providing meat for the family. For me, I just love being out there in the woods. I want to go out and shoot deer and put meat in the freezer, but for me, I just love being out there, whether I get something or not. Just for me, the success is, did I go out and spend time in the woods and have a good time? That's success to me, is just the experience. So having those opportunities to get up there, spend time with Chris, spend time out there, walking the woods with him, doing some scouting and figuring some things out, and then having the reward of putting things together and having that result in being able to put a deer in the freezer. That was a pretty rewarding experience in both those times. And then moving on to Kansas, the experience there, that was a tough hunt. So we've been talking about doing an out-of-state hunt for a while. We did our first real out-of-state hunt last year, but not deer, it was waterfowl. In the same place in Kansas. We hunted waterfowl out there and had a great time. That was in November, right before Thanksgiving, week before Thanksgiving, as a matter of fact. But we made the decision after that hunt that we were going to put the time in and figure out if you're doing the out-of-state thing, and obviously there's not a lot to figure out. Just put in for the tag and all that. But as far as like the fact that we were, 1,000 miles from where we were going to be hunting, and then being able to get out there and scout it, obviously. So doing the e-scouting thing, it was private land, but it's a lot of land that we have access to. It's all open range, free range hunting. But getting on X and spending time on the phone, talking about it back and forth, and a couple of times that we were able to get together, sit down and look at the computer and pull up OnX and kind of do the e-scouting thing and kind of learn some of the areas. And we immediately got on deer when we got there. So looking at the map and kind of figuring out some areas, core areas where we wanted to focus. I mean, obviously that worked. Some of the things that we've learned and applying to that really helped out, because every day we were there, we saw deer. I had that opportunity on the doe, and I took a bad shot, plain and simple. Unfortunately, I wounded a deer, and I was pretty upset about that, and I'm still upset about it, but it really ate at me that day and the days that followed. You never want to do that, and I've spent a lot of time since then, and I had before, but I've really focused a lot on my practicing and my shooting since then. And I can't say that it's never going to happen again, because I'm sure it will, but I'm going to do everything that I can do to ensure that it doesn't. So at any rate, I had that opportunity. I just took a bad shot. I mean, in the video, I was able to see that when I slowed it down, that I did hit a little small branch, but I really think that when I analyzed it and thought about it, and what I saw in the video and just thinking about it, I don't know that I rushed the shot, but I don't know that I I really settled my pins and had a clear sight picture of what I was aiming at. I probably aimed too high. I should have aimed a little lower. Yeah, maybe I would have hit some more twigs, but I don't know. It was 19 yards is what Chris had it at with the rangefinder. So I think that I could have buried that pin a little lower, and even with her jumping the string like she did, I probably would have had a lethal shot, and I would have put that doe in my freezer, and I wouldn't have had a wounded animal out running around out there after the fact. So for me, that was a hard lesson learned, but I stayed on it. And the very next day, we went out and we were on our way out in the morning, and we saw a buck down in this field, and there was some trees that kind of went down this little draw. So the two of us got out, and we were going to kind of put a stalk on. He went one way, I went the other, and see if one of us could get on him. And I was able to get up on him, and I thought I was up on a fence line. He was down there with a couple does in the bottom there. No idea was there. I had a perfect, shot opening. It should have been easy, but I thought it was about 40 yards. I don't have a rangefinder yet. I'm going to get a rangefinder now. But I thought 40 yards, held for 40 yards, and took a beautiful shot, rode over his back, and he took off. Chris has a rangefinder, and after we kind of met up and told him what happened, I stood where I shot from, and he stood where the deer was, and it was 32 yards, so should have held for 30. Now probably would have had a nice buck on that opportunity. So again, every day we saw a deer, and 2 days I had shot opportunities. The doe and then the buck. To me, I had success out there because it was an unbelievable experience being out there, sitting in the stands and learning a new area. It's completely different hunting out there than what I'm used to. I've never hunted anywhere west of the East Coast. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. The only 3 states before that I hunted whitetail or any kind of big game for that matter. So going out there and experiencing that and seeing that, it really opened my eyes and to different things and forced me out of my comfort zone. And Chris and I got some plans for some different hunts this year, and hopefully it'll come to fruition. We can get out west and do some elk hunting. That's the goal, archery elk. And we'll see how that goes. Chris has done it, but I never have. So that should be a good experience. And I think that this Kansas trip really, was that opening that door for us to kind of get out of our comfort zones and be more willing to go do those things and put the time and money investment that will take to do those hunts. At any rate, I really can't complain about this year. It's been an unbelievable experience with all around, with just because we started this channel, we started this whole the Old Breed Outdoors brand with our Facebook, our Instagram, the website, and then the channel. And I think I believe Chris said it in his video, but I'll say it here, Chris kind of been talking about this for a while and saying we could do this, and I kind of was like, I don't know. And finally, I was like, you know what, let's just do it. And I'm so glad that I did. And I grew up hunting. Spent my whole childhood, up until I graduated high school and went to the Marine Corps, hunting every year with my dad and the rest of the family, and really loved it. And did some hunting on and off over the years. A lot of small game hunting and bird hunting. Really the only time I deer hunted is when I came back east and happened to be visiting my dad and the family during deer season. When I was in North Carolina, I did a lot of deer hunting, and would go up to my dad's place, do some deer hunting when I was there too. But that's really, outside of that was the only deer hunting I've really done. So what I found is really reinvigorated my love for hunting. I've always been doing the outdoors thing, and that has never stopped, but the hunting portion of that for me was very hit and miss, and I found that the focus in doing this, I have focused more on the entire sport of hunting and outdoors and conservation, everything that ties into it. Watching all these YouTube channels that I watch and reading the things that I've been reading, trying to learn the different things to help us out with our brand. It's not stuff that I didn't already know. In some cases, it's stuff I didn't know. In a lot of cases, it's stuff I didn't know. But in general, it's stuff that I've already known, but hadn't really paid attention to necessarily, and really, truly, deeply known. And my eyes have been really open. My maybe it's just I'm getting older and I'm more attuned to it and being more applying a little bit more critical thinking to it and thinking in a broader sense. But I really, doing this has brought me around to that, and I find myself much more engaged than I ever have been in thinking about the outdoors and the conservation efforts that are out there, trying to open these opportunities, and not just for hunting, but hunting and the outdoor recreation industry as a whole. So it's something that's important to me and always has been, but it really has opened up more to me now that I'm researching it more, I'm paying more attention to it, I'm much more engaged, and I'm in full force. Chris and I both. This brand of ours that's what we're dedicating ourselves to, is to provide content for you all that hopefully inspires you to get out in the outdoors and do something, whether it be hiking or camping, hunting, fishing, bird watching, canoeing, boating, whatever it is. you know, and then try and become part of that greater community, providing being involved in that conservation experience, you know, and you know, if we can do some volunteer time to help out with conservation projects with any of the plethora of organizations that are out there, the great organizations that are out there, do stuff on our own to kind of, you know, be involved in that effort, whatever it is, or that's where we're headed. That's our goal for this brand, and I think we're going to have a lot of success with it. And we sincerely appreciate all of you that are following along. If you're just joining us, go back and watch our older content and let us know what you think. Let us know what we can do to get better. We've got a long way to go. Just starting with this and learning how to do the content. Taking the pictures and the video is not easy. It's you know, talk about getting out of your comfort zone, sitting in front of a camera or setting the things up in the woods and all those things. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of time and effort to learn. And so let us know what you think, and you know, what we can do better, what you guys would like to see and hear. And you know, if you're new to this, you know, ask us some questions. We don't have the answers, all the answers, but we're learning, and let's learn together. This is a community. This is a family of like-minded individuals that, you know, want a better future for the generations to come. Just like, you know, those that came before us, you know, all the great conservationists, you know, the last 100 plus years that have made the opportunities that we have today possible. We are that next generation today, and we have a obligation to set the next generations up to have the same opportunities and successes that we're having today. If we don't, it's going to go away, and we're going to be right back where we were in the late 1800s, and animals disappearing and wild habitat disappearing. If we don't preserve it, it's going to go away. So, at any rate, thanks as always. You follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, at Old Breed Outdoors, in both those locations. And then our website, www.oldbreedoutdoors.com. Check us out on there. We got a blog. We've got some other links on there. We've got our shop with, you know, all kinds of merchandise. And you know, hit that like and subscribe button on here. We really appreciate the support, and you know, you guys keep following along. So we've got a lot more to come, and look forward to sharing the experience with you all, and hopefully we can have some great adventures over the next year. Thanks. See you next time.